Here's our what we're drawing out of today. It's a mug for those who are not watching the video, and it's got these beautiful pair of titties on it, or
Woohoo.
boobies, as my partner would say.
And with
Never
shiny nipples.
boobs, always boobies. She does have shiny nipples, honestly.
Good.
This is kind of what my boobs look like, to be honest. Like they're kind
Oh,
of saggy. They got these little nips, and they're not like giant. And that's
oh,
also what
very
my belly
nice.
looks like most of the time.
Well, I think it's beautiful.
I think it's beautiful too.
So, speaking of little bellies, look at our card we got today. Are you ready? Du-du-du-du-du-du-du. Queen of
Oh,
Pentacles.
beautiful.
So, on my deck, I put a woman, beautiful woman with a prego belly. Queen of
Mm-hmm.
Pentacles does not have to mean that you're having a baby, but it can. It's very much about like being in your creative creation
Mm-hmm.
energy.
Yeah.
So whether you are creating a life, an actual child, or you are creating or birthing, some sort of new idea, it's very much in this energy. So we have
That's
for
beautiful.
our tarot card, the Queen of Pentacles, which we will dive into more and more of the meaning, especially specifically for this episode.
Cool. Awesome. I love that. Okay. And the topic
Drawing out of the mug randomly is
is sensuality.
shut up.
Yeah.
I love it.
I just
Ooh,
rubbed my belly.
right? Oh my gosh. She's like, yes, feel that. You know, right off the bat, I'm so excited. My head is like tingling. I've been doing a lot of either thinking or writing or researching around the like power and spirituality and literally like power of sensuality and sex, like sexuality, sex, like the actual act of sex. I've been thinking about that a lot. I think a long time ago when you and I connected near the beginning and we were on my other podcast, The Unintentional Porn Star, which is a story about myself having a tape posted online without my consent and all the things,
Mhm.
the shit and the growth and all of that. And Aubrey and I met, and that's a part of the story. And
That's exactly where I
um,
met.
yeah, right. And then for some reason lately, and I'm in a space where I also love to never judge, just FYI to people, we take it. If something's coming up, we take it and we're like, okay, cool. Don't know why yet, but here we are. But yeah, it's like that sex or sensuality or, because it doesn't have to just be about sex, but that energy that is either tapped into or created, um, you know, during these moments of whether it's like climax or whether it's like a shared connection with someone or whether it's like you transmute it or channel it into art or making money or whatever, right? Like it's so powerful. I heard
Mm.
something, this is again slightly out of our bracket of what we're talking about, but I heard a saying a long time ago, I'm probably butchering it a bit, that sex is the most powerful emotion. And I know that doesn't make sense, but that's what I heard. And bless you, I see you sneezing.
Thanks.
And speaking of like creation energy and like universe, God, like, us also being part of God or universe, like we are literally creators then, therefore. And it's like all of that working together, especially with this infused like sensual power, like, whoa, let's birth a
Whoa.
baby or a new idea, you
Dude.
know?
Yeah, yeah. And when you were talking about sex being such a powerful, thing, when I got into sex education and when I was learning about human sexuality, there was this woman, Betty Dodson, who I think I've talked to you about her before. She was this feminist. She started like conscious. She got involved with women's sexuality and pleasure through conscious raising groups in like the 70s,
Hmm.
and um, and she's the founder of Body Sex. She's no longer living, but she would describe sexuality as like when a man and a woman have sex, right? They create a life.
Hmm.
You create a human life. And
Hmm.
so we have this we can trace this powerful creative life force energy all the way back to something as simple as sex, right?
Mm.
And so when you were talking about like it being so powerful, I never really thought of it that way. Like when I was having sex or when I was like trying to figure out things with other people, with myself, like I never really thought of it as being powerful. I felt powerful sometimes as a
Mm.
woman. You know, I think as women can we have the power, more of a power in that dynamic of getting what we want sexually versus men. Like we can go to a bar and be like, "Hey, you want to have sex?" and probably have sex. And a man cannot do that.
Not
A
no
man
more, anyways. That's
can't do that. Um, so there is a powerful feeling about it, but y- yeah, and it's interesting that, you know, in our society, in some parts of it, that it's not seen as a very important thing to talk
Mm.
about or to
Hmm.
learn about. And there's different appropriate levels, right, as you grow up, but I think definitely in some parts of our world, it's not seen as an important thing to discuss or learn. And it's like the thing that brought us into existence. So, like, how can that not be important
Wow, I
to at
love the
least
way
talk
you put
about?
that. Yeah, I love the way you said that, though. Like it literally is what created us. How are we not talking about that?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. I remember, growing up in a Catholic Christian setting and also being a dancer and being this little wily coyote of myself. I remember just feeling really confused
Mm,
when I would hear things about like sex is shameful. Like those are things like maybe they didn't say it exactly like that, but it was absolutely that. And
mm,
also words from
it's
my family
unfortunate.
were very much about that. Like you don't do that, you wait till marriage, which is fine, but I also was like, I don't get that. Like that doesn't make sense to me. Like why? Especially
Mm-hmm.
when even before I was maybe having sex, like you understand, or you were like self-pleasuring, as you're learning your body as a young soul, and so it was like always so disconnected, and I was always like, luckily I feel like I just kind of was like, this is BS. Like I just intuitively for me knew, for
Mm-hmm.
me this doesn't fit me. And then so I remember moving. I think I've talked about this before, but that's fair, that's fine. I'm moving to Toronto, and like away, all my family was in the west of Canada, and so I moved to Toronto, and I was like,
You're like,
yeehaw, bitches,
I
like
can do whatever
girl,
I
it
want.
is on. And I explored so much. And it was really cool to me because, when I was having sex and exploring, and I explored with many people, like, and I had so much fun, but I like was almost, I think I was like, I don't know how to say this. Like I was exploring the feeling of this spiritual experience, like out of body, really powerful, really connected. Like I almost felt like sometimes I was like in the universe, like
Hmm.
in a different place when I was having sex with someone,
Wow.
and really when we were both in it, enjoying it. And I think like I truly felt that. And I don't know if it was like dance enhanced that, or dance was a great place, a great community to for me to explore that, because
Mm-hmm.
sex is like and this
I
isn't
can kind
everyone
of
in the
see
dance
that.
community, right?
Yeah, because in dance, you're so involved in your body,
Yeah.
right? And
And
so
you're
like I
already
could
like
see
touching
how that could
each
enhance.
other.
Yeah,
Totally. Like there's
totally.
a different connection. And I'm not speaking for everyone in the dance community because I
Right.
can't do that. But for me, it was a really great space to like do that. Like I jumped in because I was like, something's here, and
Mm-hmm.
everyone was like, especially as a woman still now, but like growing up too, like women are sluts and men aren't, men are heroes.
Mm-hmm.
And I also
Right.
just rejected that. Like I was like, no,
Mm.
like no. And it wasn't even, I wasn't trying to prove anything. Because sometimes I go like, well, is that out of trauma that I was to
Yeah, or
suppress?
like in spite
Sure.
of, right?
Right. Sure, maybe. Also, what a great thing to go and have fun with. Like, yeah, it's a great way to live in spite. But like it wasn't that for me. It was
Yeah. Were
it
you
truly was
ever
something
like,
more.
were you ever feeling, did you ever have a feeling of like shame while you like I'm assuming this is like your 20s, right? We're kind of talking about our
Hmm.
20s-ish, like
Hmm.
late teens, 20s.
Hmm.
because as you were explaining this, I was just thinking like, man, I wish I felt that way in my 20s. Because
You're
like
20, like you're just 20 and you're like 20, you know what I mean?
I was exploring as well, but I definitely felt like there was a lot of questioning or a lot of like hiding still of like I'm not supposed to be doing this type of
Mm.
feeling, so I don't know. Like I'm just curious if you ever felt that or if you felt scared or while you were in this exploratory phase.
Um, yes and no. No, no. And I think that's what led me into all of these like really great experiences and also what led me into the exploitation of
Right.
that. Like
Yeah.
actually, like legitimately, actually, it was the exploitation
Right.
of what I'm talking about, which was so fucking hard to deal with. And maybe
Yeah.
that's why I don't know, who knows. Anyways, so no, I didn't feel any shame. It was almost put on me. And then so then I was like, wait, what? Like,
This is not mine.
yeah, well, yeah, and unfortunately, as like when you're in your 20s, you're still learning. So it's like I didn't take it
Totally.
on, but it got thrown onto me again with the whole scenario, the whole situation, and like
Right.
I would just kind of like close my ear a little bit because I was like, well, I want to learn this. So I think externally, like, did I talk about it to everyone? No. But did I talk about it to like new people I met and friends very openly? Yeah. So it was like a mix of me not feeling the shame, but almost being like, ah, like, why was that
Dodging
put
it.
on me? Yeah, dodging it for
Yeah, which
sure.
takes energy to do
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Right.
And then I the whole
Mm.
the sex tape thing was is a whole different ball game. That's a very different ball
Yeah.
game,
Right.
and it just turned everything upside down. But even then, with the exploitation and the like a decade or more of
Hmm.
working through what the fuck just happened, um, even then, I still knew and stood up for the version of me that knew it was spiritual, that knew it was
Mm.
powerful, that knew it was sexual. And sure, maybe I made some silly decisions, but overall, it was like kind of healthy. It was consensual. It was healthy. Yeah, I had some times in my
Yeah.
20s when I was like, oops, probably should have used a condom. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right. Well, and I think, see, that's the thing is I think if we're like, let's focus on like high school age because I think that's where, for the most part, maybe now it's different. I don't know. I haven't really been around like a school in a
Mm,
while,
neither.
but high school age, like freshman year or later, that's when you start to like engage sexually like for a lot
Mhm,
of people, right?
mhm,
And not just with genitals, like you're kissing, you're making out, you're touching,
mhm,
you're giving oral, you're doing all these different things, right?
mhm,
And so like I think that's the time, especially continuously, to talk
mhm,
about what what is power and
mhm,
what does it feel like as you like I'm just let's focus on maybe young girls for now, like young
mhm,
women, but like as a young woman, when you go into a sexual experience, like how does that make you feel? Like what are you
mhm,
feeling when you're doing that? What are you who are you focused on? How are you talking about it? Like these are all like I think that sometimes what I struggle with in terms of like parts of religion that are like wait till you're married is that unless it is like it's super enforced from like a
mhm,
really young age and you don't really see anything outside your bubble. But even that, usually that doesn't work because
mhm,
we have urges, we have
mhm,
an evolution hormonally that happens within us.
mhm,
And it's like something biologically, evolutionarily, we seek out. Like
mhm,
somewhere embedded in our DNA, we are built to kind of like procreate, like to keep our species alive, like in a in a primal way. And
mhm,
so like it's all kind of like to me, it's all coded within us that we're gonna have an interest in what it's like to explore this uh, sexual thing. One, because it's t tied to this life creation, to bring it back to the Queen of Pentacles, right? It's tied
mhm,
to like creation of life. It's tied to continuing our species. And so, like, there's always going to be this interest. And so, why not use this opportunity of interest to like have these really great conversations around like hey, these are some questions that might come up. Here's how to talk about this with another
Mhm.
person. Here's how to discover what you like, and then you can bring it into it with another person. Here's how to do it in a safe way so that you avoid pregnancy if you don't want to. Because that's the main thing for women, right? Is like, that's why birth control is such a, sorry, now I'm going off on all these
No, I
tangents.
love it. I
But
love it. Go. Yeah.
but yeah, I just like I've never it's been difficult for me to understand because I have some family members like this who don't find it important at all to talk about this when their child is clearly going to be engaging in some type of sexual thing, whether they know it or not. You know,
Mhm.
it's like it just doesn't really, it's been hard to understand that perspective, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And even from a notice from within my family, it's very uncomfortable. Like there's an it's create the shame around it has created so much like
Right.
sticky, not in a good way, icky, sticky, like, so yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so with you on that.
But that's
Big
your like
time.
duty as a parent. Like to
Yeah.
me as a parent, one of the roles, and I think this is why it's so important to like really work on yourself before having children, or at least like put a lot of thought into it, is
Mm,
because when you dive into yourself, you are faced with a lot of discomfort, a lot of uncomfortable truths that come up about yourself, right? You might meet your shadow in different ways, right? So whenever it's time to then have a child, if that's what you choose, you're gonna have to like face a lot of discomfort with them. You know what I mean? Like it's not always going to be
yeah.
comfortable to talk about these things, but it's your duty to do it, to
Yeah.
teach them. That you have to
Yeah.
teach them how to be a human being. And so I feel
Yeah.
like when you've done that with yourself, it makes it just a little bit easier maybe to do it with another human being,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, definitely. Like, think about it. If anyone is like, it's your duty, no, it's not. It's like fair, sure, love that. And when you're a kid, like, think about it. Like, you don't know.
Anything.
So someone someone gotta teach me, or I'm gonna teach
Someone,
myself.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know what to tell you. I'm gonna teach myself then.
Did you have to teach yourself?
Definitely. Well, actually, I would say, I would say my mom had some pretty decent conversations with me and created a level of comfort around like having sex. Like it wasn't we never really had like in-depth conversations or anything like that. And I definitely, I didn't hide things from her, but I was also the fifth kid, so she's like, just be safe and let me know you're home safe. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna do what you're gonna do.
See you at
Yeah,
7.
peace and love, and like just let me know you're safe. Um, but yeah, there was a level of comfort that
Mm.
was built, and I'm grateful for that. Also, a
Yeah.
family that I grew up with, they were very open with like naked bodies, and they would have these books about
Oh,
like the
nice.
body and like growing, and it was like they just were very open. And so I was actually really lucky to have some of these things in my life because I was also hearing, and again, before I understood I was rejecting it, was hearing the other stuff of like you hide your body, a woman should be shameful,
Yeah, so it's like
and
confusion.
kind of, but I more was like, I like this. I like this. And then yeah, from
Nice.
those things, I absolutely taught myself.
Right.
And there were some hard lessons. There were some
Yeah.
really hard lessons,
Same.
like,
Yeah.
and but I at the same time, like I did what I did and it was everything that I did and it
W-
meant it a lot to me.
Yeah. Well, we all do what the best we can with the
Yeah.
information that we have, right? Because not all of us have parents that are even present, to talk about
Right.
these things. And our school is like a whole different thing,
Yeah,
because like,
I know.
and that's a hard one for me too, because I a public school anyway is
Mm,
harder. It's hard to like because I can see both sides or different sides of like parents being like, I just want you to teach my kids like the basics and then I'll handle the sex stuff at home.
mm, mhm.
But then like we don't, but do you handle the sex side
Yeah,
of it?
exactly. I would say 99% of people don't handle
No,
it
exactly.
outside of
So it's like,
that.
okay, so why don't we include this in a
Yeah.
public school setting? But like I could, you know, so I can see like all these different sides to it.
Yeah. It's
But
complex
yeah.
because it's complex in our nature, in our world right now, in our society, I
Yeah.
should say.
And yeah.
I literally wrote down, I think some places got rid of sex ed. Um, And I was like, I feel like at least in if you're still having sex ed classes, sex education classes, which sex education is such a good show, by the way. Anyways, like let's have a chapter on like your sensuality and your sensual empowerment.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. When
that
did
is
you
an
learn about
aspect
like
of it.
sensuality? I'm curious because
Yeah.
I did not learn about this until a few years ago, maybe.
Well, especially
Like,
too, like in sex ed or a lot of conversations, it's like the birds and the bees, and that's it. And it's like, well, there's a whole nother layer of
yeah.
like pleasure and yeah, creation, and there's a whole nother layer. And also, like, if there was like a sensual chapter or a sensual class, it could be an art class. It could
Mm,
be like channel transmuting your energy into something. It could be creating a clay mold. Like it doesn't we can show them too, like you do very well. In many ways, it's like sensuality doesn't have to look just sex,
yeah.
and pleasure in sex. It can, yeah, right. Like, oh yeah, cute, fun. That was fun. Thanks. But like I feel like that could be really cool to show. Sure, sex ed class, maybe there's a sensuality class, and then there's an art class, but you show that like it kind of all goes like it molds together. It kind of
Yeah.
can
Like it
go in
flows.
different ways. And you can put sensuality into freaking math and money. Like you can. And that's what a lot of
Mm.
business books and entrepreneur books I was obsessed with like entrepreneurship and money and all of that growing up in my early 20s. And I read a lot of books and I can't remember which book it was. And I don't remember the author, but a lot of it was
So don't ask.
yeah, right. Yeah, don't ask. He said, and his view was like, don't have sex. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna have sex
Well,
and I'm
that's the
gonna
beauty
transmute it
of
into
like all this
money.
information that we have access to now is like we can
Yeah,
pick and choose what works for us. Like if
exactly. Yeah.
people listening to this, like there's going to be some things that Rebecca and I say that you're going to pick and like take with you, and then there's other things that you're going to leave,
Mhm.
That's
I think
such a
it's so
beautiful thing
important
that
like
we
that.
have. Yeah, what a
Discernment.
beautiful choice.
We have the gift of discernment, every single one of
Yeah,
us. And I think it's
totally.
yeah, it's a gift, like you said, for sure. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's such an opportunity. And I think that's why when I met you too, like you held my soul in ways that I needed and almost like gave me back this level of permission that I didn't know I needed in the moment. Not that
Mhm.
we need permission, but still, like I kind of needed
Mhm.
that again to
Yeah,
be like,
I
you're
was gonna
actually
say I do.
okay. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
absolutely.
then on top of that, like permission and being held, like it was also because I was like, yes, like, I was excited to openly speak with someone about how like creation energy is and the one avenue of sex. I was really excited about that because
Hmm.
it very much is that. And I can't remember recently too, like the orgasm or something. And that's like one of the spaces that it kind of sometimes can blur realms or something, or
Oh,
dimensions. Like it kind of
100%,
blurs it,
dude.
right? How cool is
Yes.
that?
Yeah. I wrote down The Art of Self-Pleasure, like my book plug. Hey, I wrote a book. That's what it's
Right?
called. But that whole like process with writing it was coming from me exploring this and kind of creating, right, this version of masturbation that I had learned,
Yeah.
from watching porn growing up. Because that's kind of yeah, like my mom talked to me growing up about sex with other people and
Mm,
like this is how you do it safely. Like it's okay. She actually told me it was totally fine to do it before marriage, like she
mm,
was a huge source of positivity in like the sea of kind of like
huh.
darkness that
Hmm.
surrounded sexuality and
Hmm.
like shame, right? And slut shaming, right? If you
Hmm.
made out with a boyfriend that I'd been dating, it was like I was a slut in my school.
Hmm.
It was like
Hmm.
stupid stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so even though my mom was a light, I definitely didn't learn about like have the permission to touch myself without
Hmm.
feeling a lot of shame.
Mm.
And so fast forward, 20 years later or whatever, when I got, kind of went into this new trying to learn a different perspective around human sexuality that like, hey, let's say that all of this is just okay.
Hmm.
Let's just pretend that all this is okay.
Yeah.
And just like any other topic, just like finance, just like sports medicine, just like, you know, I don't know, mechanical engineering, like we can just learn about it like anything
Hmm.
else.
Yeah.
And that was really the start of that led me to thinking like, oh, like self-pleasure can be an art form, right? Like how you were saying earlier, like
Mm.
it's this
Ooh.
wonderful opportunity to create,
Hmm.
not just sexually, but like intimately with yourself, sensually with yourself, psychologically with yourself, spiritually with yourself. And that's what that book is really about, is me discovering all these bits and pieces of me and viewing my life as kind of like this art, this canvas, you know?
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, dude.
Ah. I'm literally like Queen of Pentacles everywhere. It's so
Uh,
beautiful. That's
yeah.
really,
Yeah.
it explores even the different facets of yourself and ex allows you to express different facets of yourself. That's so cool. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And I feel like in terms of sensuality, um, again, I didn't really think of that word too much. Like
Mhm.
even when I was in my sexology certification, I
I
didn't
don't think
really.
anyone used sensuality growing up, but yeah, maybe in your group that would be, yeah.
I mean, not really even. Like I was just
Well,
mostly like, all right, here are the major issues that couples face. Let's,
mm,
like whatever.
mm.
And now when I think of sensuality or when I wrote that book, I really tied it to our five senses, right? That was like the easiest way for me to make the connection of like, okay, like sensuality is like this kind of fluffy term that can mean all kinds of things, it seems. But like my like analytical like Virgo head was like, but like, can we fucking define this, please?
Yeah.
Like, I need a definition right now.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
good.
So yeah, I brought in the five senses is usually how I like tap into sensuality when I'm having an intimate moment with myself or with my partner.
Do you
Um,
have the definition handy either in your mind or in your book?
Let me take a few breaths and think about that. I would say something along the lines of experiencing pleasure or joy through the five senses,
Damn, that.
or through one or more of the five senses, maybe.
Wow. That's,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
stamping.
Eh.
That's
Yeah. What
really
about you? Would you have a different definition or would you
no,
think of
to
it
be
differently?
honest, I never thought about it. And not that I'm just like, that's it, theirs is it, and that's the truth. Yeah, it kind of is. I don't know. It feels really, it embodies, I'm trying to think beyond it too, but your definition embodies like kind of how it feels to me.
Hmm.
Um, Let me see. The I'm kind of getting like a vision a little bit of like a woman or me or a woman or something. I think also a woman because we literally create the child in our bodies possibly, but
Hmm.
it's almost like she has this like silk
Mm.
thing that she just does this with. And it's not even that it has to be sexy or about sex. No, it's literally just like this like honing in on like a sense of power
Hmm.
essentially, and so that's not
Mm.
necessarily a definition, but that is a vision and a
A
feeling that I
vision. Yeah, like an
yeah that
image that
I
comes to mind.
yeah that I get from it. And it's almost like with your definition and this vision, like she's taking the five senses or more and going like "Mwahaha," like "Mwahaha."
Come
Sixth
here.
sense too in there too. All the senses are in there. So
Dude, I love that. Ooh, I like
yeah.
it. A silk
Yeah.
of the five senses.
Right.
Dude, whoever makes silk, if you're listening to this, you're welcome for a freaking new commercial that we just made for you. God, jeez. Make sure we get the royalties from that.
Right. Yeah. Come talk to us, please.
Yeah,
Geez.
when I think of sensuality, I could emit the image that comes to mind is also a woman. Like I don't really
Mhm.
picture a man.
That's so
Or,
funny. And not that a man can't be sensual, absolutely. And
totally.
please be sensual, like please. And no, I think
Like,
you're like,
please.
yeah, yeah. It's funny, and it's like more awkward in my mind trying to put a man in that position. I'm like, it's very awkward. Like, do you mean this? Oh, shoot. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Um, but no, I definitely like, mind
Oh,
you, there
shit.
have been some men, especially like let's bring it back to dance for me. Definitely
Oh,
some
yeah.
very sensual men in there
Oh,
for sure. I think you just have to embody I think there's more space to embody it as a woman too. Yes, we are the creators, yes. And
yes.
also like I think there is just more space for a woman to be sensual because we've been asexualized, but also we're also taking our power back within that too through
Hmm.
sensuality, I feel at the same time in certain
And I
ways.
think we get more permission from society in that
Definitely.
way.
We're expected
It's
almost to
sometimes
be
not, but also
sensual.
sometimes yes.
Yeah, it's like almost like we're expected to be sensual, and we're like, I literally just put on a fucking dress. What are you fucking talking about? Like,
Yeah.
what the
Like,
fuck are you talking about? Yeah.
thank you for sensualizing my dress putting on, but I
Yeah.
can't be topless. Like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
What are
And
we
like
doing here?
literally, I actually just wanted to put a dress on. So, but yeah,
Oh,
so I think
shit.
that that is actually like a multifaceted thing of the permission too, almost an
Right.
expectation for women to be sexual sensual because
And yeah, and for
yeah,
men not to be.
yeah, and like in the dance world, one of the greatest gifts dance gave me was just like diversity in the sense of
Yeah.
like didn't matter whether you had titties or a dick or both. Like, fuck it. Like, get on
Anybody
that
could,
floor and
yeah.
yes, like, and it was, and everyone in the community
Hell
that I was
yeah.
in was like losing their minds when
Yeah.
anyone did that. And especially when it was like all of the anyone's doing that together, everyone's like, whoa.
Hmm. Well,
Like,
it's like this
so
like
yeah,
collective permission of like, oh my
yeah,
God, here's all the stuff that we couldn't talk about as kids. Here's
yeah.
all the shame that I
And
felt
I'm going to
around fucking touching
express that
myself,
through
and
art
boom, I'm
and
gonna put it on the
movement.
stage. Like,
Hell yeah.
yeah, of course that's explosive and super powerful and
Excited.
infectious, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Talk about like sensuality, and just my mind and looking back and thinking about it. Like, talk about harnessing sensuality in such a cool way. Like,
Right.
fun, fucking, and like everyone in the whole auditorium, wherever we were, right? The whole thing was just like, oh, and it's like from that creation space, from that sensual creation space,
Yeah.
it lit up the place. Like,
Wow.
how fucking powerful is that? And I would even say like music and sensuality, the
Mm.
sensuality of music.
Well, yeah, using your sense of hearing, right?
Right, definitely. And like when you
Hmm.
go to a concert and an artist just completely melts an entire audience or makes them lose their mind or scream out, like
Yeah.
whatever it is, like that is to me a form of sensuality that is transmuted to others and has a
Mm.
massive effect on a collective space or
Yeah.
setting.
Oh, it's like giving
So
sensuality
sensual.
as a gift, kind of, and you're receiving
Yeah.
it. That's so cool. I've never thought of it that
Yeah.
way. I like
Yeah.
that.
Now
Dude,
I'm just seeing like all art forms and like everything, just like sensuality splattered
it's in
all
so
over
many
a
things. It can be
canvas.
in
Like,
so many
yeah, go to Rome, go to Rome. Sensuality is everywhere, literally. And like people are like cuddling too, which is can be sensual and holding hands, even if they're just besties. It's like the
Dude.
permission to be
Well, it's
sensual
like
in Rome
the
through
five levels of
food
touch
and
that we did together,
the what?
the workshop around the five levels of touch that we did together.
Yes.
Sensual touch. It's a whole different thing. It's very different than sexual or erotic touching. It
Yeah.
has
Oh my gosh.
nothing to do with those things. Yeah, go ahead.
Right? Yeah, definitely. Sort of not going with what you just said. Have you ever seen on social media, there's I think what is his name? Enrique? I don't know his name. I wish I knew names better because I always plug things and I'm like, I don't know. The
Sorry, I
people
can't
might
tell
know
you.
who I'm talking about. He like does these because food is so sensual too, and like eating it
Oh
is
yeah,
very
for sure.
sensual and like yeah, you can play with all the senses. You can like melt
Hmm.
someone's inside. You can evoke like an emotional reaction. You know what I mean? Like how sensual is that? And there's this one guy, he's like in his kitchen and he does like very sexual things with the
I've seen this
food.
person.
Like with
Yes.
the
Who like
grapefruit, he's like,
slaps
you
the
know, or
dough
like,
and
yeah,
stuff. You're like,
yeah.
whoa,
You're like, we're taking this to
hello.
another level.
Yeah, I feel like that's like a new trend, like in the last
Yeah.
few years, is like men cooking, but like just like spanking the shit out of
Yes.
whatever the hell they're,
I'm
or
like,
like they're like
yes.
really trying to put their fingers in something to like get something out. You're like, whoa, oh my God,
Like,
did not know I could
yes.
feel this way.
Can I eat that chocolate too at the same time that you're, you know what I mean? So talk about
You
an
know,
explosion of senses and sensuality in one moment.
dude, that's hilarious. You know, in my certification, at the end of it, or towards the end of it, we do this thing called a SAR, which is, let's see if I can remember. I think it stands for a sexual activity reassessment or something like that. It's
Yeah.
basically like, you know how in therapy, if you're becoming a therapist, you have to do like exposure therapy, basically.
Mhm.
Like you have to be exposed to all these different types of things to like understand how it is in you and what you might want to be a therapist in. It was
Mhm.
basically like that. Like we were basically exposed to all these different types of expressions, sexual expressions, and kinks, and all different kinds. And
Wow.
the whole point of it was to like pay attention to how you are responding to some things, because
Cool.
when you go off to be a coach, like if you're responding and you're like, like
Yeah.
it's very uncomfortable for you, then you should not coach in that space, right?
Right.
Like one of the things for me was people it's funny because we're talking about food, and I feel like now I bring food sometimes in the bedroom, but watching other people bring food into the bedroom and using it on their bodies and eating it off their bodies and stuff, for some reason when I was watching that at the time, it made me feel a certain way. I didn't like
Oh,
it.
wow.
And I was like, "Oh, this is not for me." Great for
Yeah.
them, not for me. So that told me that, hey, if somebody wants to work with you as a client and this is the thing that they want help with, you're probably not the best coach to help them with that, because you're
Mm.
gonna be making a fucking face the whole time, and that's not cool.
Yeah, you're like,
You know what I mean? Like try to school my face. Like, no, like just this, I'm not their coach. This is not for me. This is for somebody else. Again, nothing wrong with what they want or
yeah,
anything. Like
just your
everybody
relationship
expresses.
to it
It's just,
personally.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. We all
yeah,
have preferences.
yeah.
And it's so funny that we're talking about this like food thing, because I've seen those guys online and I'm like, that is actually feeling that down in my plums. It's like I never thought I would feel that way. Cool.
I love that. I love that. I remember one of my friends growing up, we were definitely like 18 or something. And she was like, I brought cheesecake into the bedroom and I ate it while he was doing stuff to me. And she would put her hands behind her and she was like, yeah. And I was like, wow. I was like, get it,
You're like,
girl.
whoa. That is actually like if someone told me that in high school, I would be like, wow, like you're the coolest
Like
person
at
I've ever known.
18, like she knew. She's like, I know what I want right now. I
Oh,
want that
yeah. I couldn't even
cheesecake.
like say anything in the bedroom. Are you kidding me? I was just like, let's just,
Oh,
yeah, we'll just won't say anything the
oh.
whole time.
Oh
Dude.
gosh, I was banging in all the bathrooms at that point with my boyfriends. Boyfriend.
Dude, it's so interesting to think about. Oh man. But yeah, going back to music, that is definitely like for anyone listening, if you and your partner, maybe your partners are wanting to explore some sensuality stuff in your bedroom, or you want to add more
Ooh,
sensuality to what you're doing, like music is such a great tool for
wow.
to add to the bedroom. Like me and my partner have a playlist that we both add to, and I have different playlists as well for myself, that it's
Mhm.
music that he doesn't really like. And so it's just like it's a great way to like collaborate and also like some of the music on our playlist is like so fucking silly. And so it's like it's great because we'll just be in the middle of it and then we'll hear fucking Peter Gabriel or something being like, ah! Like he always like screams like that in his songs. And we'll just be like, and then we'll just stop and crack up. And it's so
Oh my
great to
God.
make, like there's so much pressure sometimes to be
Mm-hmm.
serious and like have to
Mm-hmm.
like be a certain
Mm-hmm.
way. I always felt that growing up, like that
Mm-hmm.
sex couldn't be fun, really. Like you had to
Oh.
be like serious about it and you couldn't really
Mm-hmm.
laugh very much. And yeah, so I don't know. That's just one way that in my life that I've added sensuality. And then it's also opened the door for all these other things that I wasn't even expecting, just
I
like
mean,
playfulness and laughter.
playfulness can be very sensual too. Like not even sexual sensual. Like playfulness can bring forward a very sensual sort of like energy because you're so in tune with what's going on. And like when you play, whether whatever in whatever way, like you're pretty present, which to me,
Mm-hmm.
presence is also sensual. Like I
Mm,
really feel presence has a sensuality to it because things like
totally.
slow down and you
Right.
see more trickle in the air and you just notice things more and like that noticing that presence is very sensual to me. Like that's a
100%.
great word to describe that feeling actually.
Yeah. I'm so glad you just connected those things because I wasn't even thinking about that. But that's so true. When I am struggling sometimes with being in the present moment, like one of the ways that like I've done this with myself, I've had coaches do this with me, like relationship coaches that I've hired. And that's what they do. They're like, okay, why don't you just like notice five things that you see.
Mm.
Okay,
Mm.
notice four things that you hear.
Mm-hmm.
Notice three things that you can touch. Like it's like you bring it
Mm-hmm.
back to the senses, which slowly brings you back to the present moment. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was good. Glad you made that
And
connection.
speaking of that presence and bringing yourself, that's a great way to bring your or help bring yourself into a state of presence or a state of presence. Presence isn't a state, kind of. Anyways, whatever. Um, when you think about it, if when we're in presence and in this sensual energy, talking about creation, and like for me, when there's real presence, things move slower. Like I have this
Hmm.
vision or like this image of myself like grabbing little sparks of magic and creating something, writing it down, or grabbing a little
Mm-hmm.
spark of magic and speaking it, grabbing a spark of
Mm-hmm.
magic and needing to go dance, like literally. And it's like
Yeah.
it's slow. Like the way I'm moving now is very slow, and like
Mm-hmm.
creation almost expands time and space. Like, if you're doing something,
Mm.
you're painting or whatever you do or dancing, you
Yeah.
lose track of time. You're cooking, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I
Oh,
have been doing
it's been
this,
3 hours.
right? Like, and it also like it's so cool that doesn't even
So
matter. Like, it doesn't
good.
matter. Like, you
Yeah.
fuck be doing it for
Yeah.
25 years and you're like, shit. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
I just built the like a museum and I didn't know 25 years passed. Like, yes, please. Just kidding. Well, not kidding.
Okay,
Someone feed
if somebody is listening and that is the story of your life, if you built a museum and it took you about 25 years and you just fucking lost track of time,
which
please tell us.
happens, I
Yeah,
feel
come tell us.
like I feel like that must have happened. Like, let's go to Europe and maybe that could be a fun little side quest. It's like, did they eat? Did someone feed them water packs? Like, how did they do it? Just
How do they do
kidding.
it? No, that's so true though. Like you do lose track of time when you're in the present moment. I love that. Like totally transcends time. That's
And
beautiful.
so much can
Yeah.
exist in that. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Mm.
I mean, I feel great about this combo. To me, feels great. I don't know if there's things that are sitting in your system that we want to bring forward,
Yeah.
but I feel like, heck yeah, I love
Yeah.
it.
Let me pause with let the words that we've said kind of settle. And whoever's listening, I encourage you to do this with us too. Just like maybe close your eyes or look around your room or something, find something that you haven't noticed before, and take a few deep breaths. Feel your shoulders rise as you inhale and Feel your chest and your stomach relax as you exhale. Hmm.
Could sit in that space forever.
I know, right?
Nice.
Same. It's nice. Yeah,
Mm,
I don't think there's anything else that I have coming up right now. I think like that card is so beautiful. Like I could stare
mm,
at it all day, honestly.
right?
It's beautiful.
So
I
beautiful.
honestly I what I want to do right now is I want to paint or I want to create now. Like I feel
Ah,
energized from this conversation. Like I might have to create my Mama Tortoise logo after this. I don't know.
oh my
Might
gosh,
have to try it.
please do.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of
Mhm.
moving slowly and plucking magic out of the air, it's
Yeah. Yeah.
basically what
How
I was
cool.
doing
Right?
when I'm
Right?
hiking.
Now you get to put something on paper. It's going to be like colorful. It's going to have an image. It's going to be cool.
Oh,
That's so
shoot.
cool.
Uh,
Cute. Well, thanks everyone for listening. And
yeah.
can't wait for the next lovely episode to see what magic comes forward then.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you have any other thoughts on sensuality or what it means to you or how you infuse it, not even in just your intimate life, but just in your everyday life, right? Because life is an intimate experience in general. So how just tell us in the comments. We'd love to learn from you, right? Yeah.
Love
Bye.
ya. Bye.